These are the habits we think are harmless, but they're actually holding us back from reaching our full potential. Hey there, I'm Alex, and I'm on a mission to uncover the hidden traps that keep us from living our best lives. And let me tell you, some of these traps are so sneaky, you might not even realize they're there. But don't worry, because today we're going to shine a light on 3 seemingly innocent habits that could be secretly sabotaging your success. So buckle up, because this journey of self-discovery might just change your life. You know, when I first started my personal development journey, I thought I had it all figured out. I was reading all the right books, following all the gurus on social media, and even meditating for a whole 5 minutes every day. Go me, right? But here's the thing. I was still stuck. It felt like I was spinning my wheels, putting in all this effort but not really getting anywhere. And let me tell you, that feeling of frustration, it's enough to make you want to throw in the towel and binge watch Netflix for the rest of eternity. But then I had this light bulb moment. What if the very things I thought were helping me were actually holding me back? It was like suddenly realizing the map you've been following is actually upside down. Talk about a plot twist, right? So I decided to take a good, hard look at my daily habits. And boy, was I in for a surprise. Let's start with habit number 1. Constantly seeking validation from others. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Alex, isn't it good to care what other people think? Well, yes and no. It's natural to want approval, but when it becomes your driving force, that's when things get dicey. I used to be that person who'd obsessively check my social media likes or change my opinion based on whoever I was talking to. It was exhausting, and worse, it was keeping me from being my authentic self. Here's the thing. When you're always looking for external validation, you're giving away your power. You're essentially saying, "Hey world, my worth is determined by your opinion of me." And let me tell you, that's a recipe for disaster. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much validation you get, it's never enough. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment I realized this, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I started making decisions based on what felt right to me, not what I thought would impress others. And you know what? That's when things started to change. I found my voice, my confidence grew, and suddenly opportunities started appearing out of nowhere. It was like the universe was saying, "Finally, we've been waiting for the real you to show up." Now, let's talk about habit number 2, perfectionism. Oh boy, this one's a doozy. I used to wear my perfectionism like a badge of honor. I have high standards, I'd say, as I agonized over every little detail of a project. But here's the brutal truth. Perfectionism is just fear in disguise. It's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough. I remember this one time I was working on a presentation for work. I spent weeks on it, tweaking every slide, rehearsing every word. I was determined to make it perfect. But you know what happened? I missed the deadline. My boss ended up giving the presentation to someone else, and all that work went down the drain. That was my wake-up call. Perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about paralysis. It keeps you stuck, afraid to take action until everything is just right. But here's the secret. Nothing will ever be perfect. The most successful people in the world aren't perfectionists. They're action takers. They understand that done is better than perfect. So I made a decision. I started embracing the concept of good enough. I set deadlines for myself and stuck to them, even if things weren't perfect. And you know what? The world didn't end. In fact, I started accomplishing more than ever before. I was learning, growing, and most importantly, moving forward. And now, for the grand finale. Habit number 3, avoiding discomfort. This one's a real sneaky devil because it masquerades as self-care. I deserve to relax, we tell ourselves as we skip the gym for the 3rd time this week. I'll start that project tomorrow when I'm feeling more inspired. Sound familiar? I used to be the king of comfort. I'd avoid anything that made me feel uncomfortable or challenged. But here's the kicker. All the good stuff in life happens outside your comfort zone. Growth, success, achievement. They all require you to push past that cozy bubble of familiarity. I remember the first time I forced myself to do something that terrified me. It was a public speaking event, and I was convinced I was going to pass out on stage. But I did it anyway. And you know what? It wasn't nearly as bad as I'd imagined. In fact, it was exhilarating. That experience taught me that on the other side of discomfort is growth. From that point on, I made it a habit to do one thing every day that scared me. Sometimes it was as simple as striking up a conversation with a stranger. Other times it was taking on a project at work that I wasn't sure I could handle. But each time I pushed through that discomfort, I grew a little stronger, a little more confident. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, this all sounds great, but how do I actually break these habits? Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked, because here's where the rubber meets the road. It's time for action. First things first, awareness is key. Start paying attention to when these habits show up in your life. Catch yourself seeking validation, striving for perfection, or avoiding discomfort. Just noticing these patterns is a huge step forward. Next, challenge yourself. When you feel the urge to seek validation, ask yourself, what would I do if I didn't care what anyone thought? When perfectionism rears its ugly head, set a timer and force yourself to complete the task within that time frame. And when you're tempted to avoid discomfort, remind yourself that growth lies on the other side. But here's the most important part. Be kind to yourself. Breaking habits isn't easy, and you're going to slip up sometimes. That's okay. The key is to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. You see, the journey of personal growth isn't about becoming a whole new person. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. It's about shedding the layers of fear, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. And let me tell you, there's nothing more exhilarating than discovering the incredible person you've been all along. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these habits and commit to working on it for the next 30 days. Maybe you'll start making decisions based on your own values instead of seeking approval. Perhaps you'll embrace good enough and start taking more action. Or maybe you'll push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit each day. Whatever you choose, know this: you have the power to change your life. These habits might seem innocent, but they've been secretly sabotaging your success. It's time to break free, to step into your power, and to become the incredible person you were always meant to be. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. So what are you waiting for? Your future self is cheering you on, ready to celebrate the amazing transformations that are just around the corner. You've got this. That's it for this video, folks. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hey, drop a comment below letting me know which habit you're going to work on. Let's support each other on this journey of growth and self-discovery. Until next time, keep pushing those boundaries, and remember, the best version of you is waiting on the other side of these habits. Go get 'em.